Are we live? Oh my goodness. I think we're live. Alive for yet another week in COVID-19 quarantine. First off, I'm going to take this thing off. Well, happy Monday, everyone. I hope you're doing well. I hope you had an excellent weekend. I've got this weighted vest on. I don't need to be wearing it. I've been hanging out all morning wearing this thing, doing a lot of pull-ups. Try to get my workout on, everything like that. Alright, so the snack of the day. I made a run to the grocery store, and there were all of these like day-old bakery items and stuff like that that I saw, on major discount. So of course I raided it, picked up a lot of stuff. And a couple of weeks ago, I don't know. Somebody had mentioned these Hostess strawberry donuts made with real strawberries. Let's see. Reading the ingredients list, we have we have a lot of stuff. I don't see any strawberries in here, actually. Sugar and rich flour, water, palm oil, soybean oil, contains 2% or less of glycerin, dry fat milk, defatted soy flour, modified wheat starch, sodium acid, pyrophosphate, baking soda. Yeah, I don't think there are any actual strawberries in this stuff, but we're going to try them anyway, see how they are. But these cookies, they looked pretty dang good. Full of chocolate, full of sprinkles. So I definitely wanted to try these guys out. Let me know how the connection is. Let me know how the video is. I'm trying a new setup. I got a big fancy monitor so I can see myself in ultra high definition using this janky cheap little webcam. So get to see all the fuzziness in high def glory. Oh my gosh. Anyway, let me know. Make sure everything's working out okay. It looks like everything's live and streaming just fine. The connection, there were a couple of hiccups with the connection before I went live, so fingers crossed that everything stays steady. All right. As per usual, I gotta get this stuff all laid out. See how these strawberry donuts compare. Well, here's what's on the box. There we go, we can see that. And this is what the donut actually looks like. Kind of looks like the older, wrinkled up version of the donut. Like this is the donut as a teenager, maybe as a 23-year-old. This is the donut as an 83-year-old. Well, as you can imagine, strawberry glazed donuts, they taste pretty dang good. And it's no surprise that fresh bakeries have a lot of those discounted items. So I don't know if these things just weren't popular or what, but they had piles of little bags of these strawberry donuts for 99 cents a piece. So I was perfectly happy to take a couple bags off their hands. Not too bad. We got a couple of folks in the comments. Michael says, "Hey, Steve." Oop. Let's try not to make a big mess of things. How's it going? I hope you had a great weekend. Anna says, they make them different all parts of the country. East Coast Hostess has real strawberries. I'm jealous. If I'm ever in the East Coast, then I'm going to pick up a bag of Hostess donuts and see if they have real strawberries, see if the taste compares. AJAT says, "Hey, that was me, although I wasn't sure if they contained actual strawberries, and the ones I had were Little Debbie's." Okay, that makes sense. If I ever see strawberry Little Debbie's donuts, I was wondering if they were Hostess or another brand, but it sounds like you had Little Debbie's. MJC says, "Hey, Steve," as well. How's it going? Welcome to the live stream. I hope everybody, like I said, I hope everybody's staying safe, staying sane inside. Hope you guys had a great weekend. That is not the flavor I was expecting. I thought these would be like, yeah, this is their chocolate chip cookie dough. But they've almost got like a little bitter taste of coffee in them. Like, tasting them, they taste a little bit like mocha cookies or something like that. Definitely not complaining about that. So this weekend, we had a lot of inclement weather in the Seattle area. Luckily, I was able to get out yesterday, do a 14-mile run. It took me about 2 hours. But that was like the sum total of the amount of time that I spent outside of my house. And it left me absolutely exhausted, so I was absolutely laid up for most of the rest of the weekend. Recovering from that pretty treacherous run that I did. It's lots of hills, lots of up and down. Left me pretty dang tired. So while I was hanging out at home, sitting on the couch, I spent a lot of time surfing Netflix, as you do when you're locked up in quarantine. And I discovered this absolutely bonkers show on Netflix called Midnight Gospel. So anybody in the chat, if you've heard of this show, you gotta let me know what you think. I mean, it is so over the top crazy. It is absolutely ridiculous. So it was made by this guy, Duncan Trussell, who, like, I'm almost torn. Like, I kind of want to say that he's a pseudo-intellectual, but maybe he is like an actual intellectual. Every time I hear the guy talk about science and technology and things along those lines, it makes me a little bit angry because it's really clear, you know, as a software engineer, somebody who's like steeped in technology and things like that, like it's really clear that he doesn't really know what he's talking about. You know, anytime he talks about artificial intelligence gaining sentience and gaining like citizen status, it just kind of makes me shake my head. Just like, what are you talking about? But the guy also talks about some kind of new agey spirituality, meditation, that kind of thing. Lots of interesting stuff. And it turns out that he has a podcast that he just decided to take some of his more interesting conversations from his podcast and like turn it into a cartoon. And it is the most bonkers thing I think I've seen in forever. Like, you know, it's the kind of thing where you might drop an acid tab and then go watch this show. Not that I'm encouraging anything like that. Maybe do something with a little bit of mind-altering drugs or something like that. I don't know, DMT, shrooms. I know all of these different things as kind of like a theoretical knowledge, although I've done like no recreational drugs at all myself, so I don't actually know how those things work, but kind of strikes me as the type of thing that you'd want to do before watching this. And some of the topics that he discusses on his show with his guests are just the most bizarre, outlandish things, like existentialism. He spoke with an expert on coping with death and things along those lines. And it was a very, very strange experience, I gotta say. So if you guys do have a Netflix subscription and you want to see something that is just the most weird stuff you could possibly imagine, you should definitely check it out. It's called Midnight Gospel. It's only like 6 or 7 episodes, and each episode is only 20 or 30 minutes long, so you can easily binge the entire thing in one sitting. Oh my gosh. It definitely turned me on to his podcast. Got some really strange stuff. And all of the animation and the cartoons and stuff that he, overlays these conversations on top of are just so bizarre. Like, it reminds me of like a Zen Cohen, the kind of thing that is meant to make no sense, but to kind of like, it's almost like Zen Cohen is kind of like, it's supposed to make you stop and think about something and just like disrupt your line of thought. You know, the idea is that people spend most of their lives in this kind of autopilot state where they're just drifting from one activity to the next, not really consciously thinking about things, and then you see something absolutely absurd or hear something. Oh no. Looks like, oop, had a little bit of buffering. I think things might have blipped a little bit. Hopefully the connection is still stable. It looks like everything is stable and okay. Okay, great. So anyway, speaking of a Zen Cohen, kind of knocks you out of the moment. But it's the kind of thing that like introduces just a little bit of the absurd into your stream of consciousness, just to snap you out of that autopilot. And it's really the kind of thing that this animation is all about. Like the first episode, he was speaking with Dr. Drew Pinsky, which, if I don't actually know how popular Dr. Drew is nowadays, but back in the like late 90s, early 2000s, maybe not back in the 90s, but in the 2000s, the early 2010s, he was a pretty popular figure who helped a lot of big stars rehab and things like that. He talks a lot about sex and sexual relationships, everything along those lines. But, JP says that name is a blast from the past. Yeah, maybe. I haven't heard Dr. Drew in quite a while. I was never really into him, but he has this conversation with... so the creator of the show is Duncan, and Duncan plays the character Clancy in the show. So it's Dr. Drew and Clancy having a conversation about existentialism and meditation and kind of being like the importance of understanding and interpreting the things around you and really understanding yourself. And it's all set to this backdrop where Clancy is having this conversation, and Dr. Drew plays the character of the President of the United States during a zombie apocalypse. I'm just describing... Oh my god, it's so bonkers. You guys definitely need to check it out. I cannot describe just how insane this cartoon is. But it only came out a couple of days ago. Oh my god. Oh, just a couple of days ago. It's only been available for a week or so. And it was definitely worth my time to watch every single episode. Some of them were very bizarre and outlandish like that. The last episode like took a turn for the dark and macabre when he has a conversation with his mother. And it's revealed like halfway through the episode. Well, something is revealed. I'm not going to spoil it for anything. But like he's having a conversation with his mother. And yeah, so at the beginning of the episode, Clancy is this young child having a conversation with his adult mother, and they both gradually like get older and older throughout the episode. And at some point, his mother dies, and then Clancy gives birth to his mother, and they continue this conversation. Like, it is the most mind-bending thing that you have ever seen. This is just going to be like a 20-minute me trying to sell you guys on watching this. But that was my weekend. How are you guys doing? I hope you're all doing okay. I'm going to continue eating some of this stuff. I've been flapping my gums pretty pretty much nonstop. Eric Gunnarsson, got a couple more folks in the chat. Says... I'm not even sure how to interpret that comment. Greeted to have you back, Steve. Finale Mondes. I assume there were a couple of typos in that. Yes, good to see you too, Eric. I'm glad you survived the weekend. Glad you're back with us. JP said that name is the Blast from the Past. Oh, yeah. Anna says Dr. Drew was on Masked Singer. That's a show that I never watched. It looked like a kind of an interesting concept, but I don't know, not my bag. Eric Winokur says, hey, Steve and everyone. Saw you were on, wanted to say hi, but I gotta run. I'll watch the stream when I get back. Cool, excellent for dropping in, man. Always good to say hi to people live, and I hope you are able to, catch the stream a little bit later. I don't know what it is about these soft frosted cookies with a little bit of milk. They are some of the best. Ow. All right, so some other exciting stuff that's been happening. Let's see. Now, in the Twitterverse, about a month ago, I saw this interesting tweet that popped up. Let's see if I can find it again. Where one individual challenged, he put up a poster of a bunch of food from McDonald's and said, with this quippy tweet, asked folks, here is an example of it. This is great live streaming. I'm going to see if I can't get this done a little bit quicker. Let's see. Come on, let's do this a little bit faster. Fill up the stream. Man, that did not work at all. So I don't want that there. All right, we're just going to describe this tweet. Here is an example of it in the chat. If anybody is watching in the chat, wants to take a look. The general idea is that we have this big pile of food from McDonald's, and he says, could you eat this food? Now the original tweet, now this tweet is not the same one. It says, Carlo, I can't even, I don't even know who that is, eat $3,500 of McDonald's? Now, that was not the original post. The original post was asking, could you eat all this food if somebody, within 90 minutes, if somebody offered you $3,500 to do so? And I've seen a couple of folks take this challenge. Now, I've seen a couple of challenges like this in the past. We had like the Impossible McDonald's challenge, which ended up not being really difficult at all. But this weekend, I did decide to give this a shot, see if I couldn't make this challenge happen. And I gotta tell you, got the video. It's probably gonna be coming out in a week or so. It is a whole lot more food than you might expect. So in this picture, we've got 2 boxes of chicken nuggets, 4 burgers, 2 things of fries, and 4 drinks. Now all that food put together, probably not that big of a deal. I'm gonna estimate maybe like 3 to 4 pounds of food. But those drinks on top, all put together, it's like, I don't know, it's like 7 pounds of liquid right there. And yeah, it was a lot more difficult than I expected. But I got the video, got it, all recorded, so I'm working through that footage. Hopefully I'll get that video up and posted later this week, probably this weekend. Because I know how much you guys like to see me slam a bunch of really kind of mediocre food, so. And I am absolutely glad that people like to watch me eat junk food and like fast food, packaged food, convenience foods. Because it would be a lot more expensive if people like to watch me eat like filet mignon and champagne, Dom Perignon, stuff like that. I think the biggest challenge for me was that there was just a lot of meat in that challenge. And you guys probably know that I'm not super great at eating large quantities of meat. It's not my favorite, but I figured it'd be fun to try to get that done. Is that Saskia? I'm not even going to try to pronounce that last name. Saskia, welcome to the chat. You ask what my favorite movie is? Oh, that would be a tough one. I don't know. I am not sure. I've seen a lot of movies. I mean, there's a couple of them like, I don't know, The Matrix, Inception, that are like really great. That I really like those kinds of sci-fi bent movies, a little bit like that. Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade comes to mind. Now, some of the more kind of cult movies that I like would be like The Big Lebowski. I think that is an excellent movie. Or this movie, the name of which I cannot remember. It's a pretty well-known time travel movie that was done on like a shoestring budget. And I'm sure the name of it is going to come to me eventually. It's killing me right now. But yeah, it's this very mind-bending movie about time travel, and it was done in such a way that like the people who made the movie did not skimp on the details, and they did not like dumb it down for folks. And it was a really well-made movie in my opinion. And I'm beating myself up that I cannot remember the name of it. But yeah, those are a couple of the ones that I like. AJAT asks how I would rate the strawberry donuts. They do have a little bit of that like strawberry candy flavor, but I do actually like artificial strawberry flavor. I think that tastes just fine. And it is glazed, which are easily my favorite kinds of donuts from Hostess. So I think I would rate them pretty highly, maybe a 7.5, maybe even an 8. Yeah, so I really like these guys. Matthew Sharpenstein says, nice, dude. JP says, Steve, you could eat that much food in like 2 minutes. I'm glad you've got some confidence in me, man. No, when I tried it this weekend, I will tell you, I had the camera running for a little bit longer than 2 minutes. So I'll let you guys stay in suspense to know whether or not I was actually able to finish it. Now, for context, Matt Stoney actually did that, and he found it quite challenging. So, now, Matthew, you asked what flavor these cookies are. I think this is the silliest flavor of cookies I have ever seen. These cookies are chocolate chip cookie dough flavored cookies. So they're cookies that are flavored like cookies, basically. Corinne says hello from France. Love the butter cookies. Well, hello. It's good to see you. I see that it's probably like 9-10 p.m. Where you're living. So, good evening. I hope you're doing well on the other side of the pond. Hope everything in Europe is still, I don't know, not blowing up. Anna says, you would have to do that one in the bathroom. Oh my goodness. It was the kind of thing that like, as I was drinking all those sodas, so in the picture, it looks like it's 4 medium-sized sodas, but I wasn't able to tell, so I just went with 4 large sodas. I should have gone with the 4 medium sodas. I got 4 medium or large Sprites, and oh my goodness, it was, it's one of those ones where I did want to kind of like turn off the camera for a minute and just take a bathroom break, but tried to power through. So I don't know what Lofthouse thought they were doing with these cookies, because I swear, like they taste like they've got a little bit of coffee in them. We've got a severely mangled ingredients list on the bottom of this. I'm not even going to try to go through them. MJC says, Steve, you did great on the double pancake challenge in New Orleans. Well, thanks, man. That honestly was a very, very difficult challenge. Those pancakes were so fluffy. They filled up my stomach. And that was like earlier in the day that I was planning on flying home. So it was an interesting day. I don't know if I can suggest going and trying that challenge though. I mean, I'm sure Oceana Grill is a great place, but like they didn't seem too happy that I ordered the challenge. So I don't know why those guys have it on the menu, but I did do it pretty early in the morning, and it was in the French Quarter, and I know that those guys aren't like really morning people, so maybe that was all it was. AJAT says, if they had a mixed berry bag of donuts, blueberry, strawberry, raspberry donuts all in one bag, it would be a berry donut heaven. I gotta agree. I think that would be absolutely delicious. All right, guys. As usual, looks like we're coming up on 1 o'clock. Not quite 1 o'clock, but I do got to get back to work. So, awesome lunch. I'm glad everybody came to see the live stream. As usual, I'm going to try to keep this going for yet another week as long as I'm stuck inside because of the coronavirus. I'm going to be doing these live streams, going to try to keep on getting some content out to you guys because I love these kinds of interactions. Thank you, everybody, for dropping in the live stream. Now, I did notice that not everybody who watches the videos are subscribed, so I do want to beg people who aren't subscribed to do so. It really helps my numbers. And I actually don't know if, like, subscribing to a channel, like, does anything for your front page on YouTube. Like, I think that's all just based off of stuff that you've watched before. So, like, doesn't cost you guys anything, doesn't change anything about your viewing habits, just makes my numbers look a little bit better. So if you haven't yet, I would certainly appreciate it. You would become one of the, part of one of the best subscriber bases on YouTube. Everybody who subscribes to my channel is awesome. I love all you guys. Thank you guys so much for dropping in. And I hope you guys have an awesome day. I hope you're staying healthy and happy. And until next time, you guys have a good one. And now I futz around with the UI to try to figure out how to end this thing. All right, see you guys later.